What's up, chat? How you doing? How's life? You living the dream on this random Sunday in February? Or is it a nightmare? I mean, I hope it's not a nightmare. I hope things are going as good as you could reasonably expect, but I'm ready. The question of the day is, what's your side hustle? That's what I want to know. Tiff isn't allowed to answer because her side hustle is just another job. Oh, yeah. Hopefully, this will be fun at least. I mean, the Avs really should beat this team, but we've said that a lot this year, and it hasn't necessarily come to fruition. So, what station is that? I don't even know. Just a random empty station. All right, neat. Yeah, let me know if you hit a plus 15,000 bet, Drew. I expect a cut of that. All right. Let's go,
Ah,
bearded.
thanks, DJ. Burp, burp, burp. Overlays.
Now we're just counting periods backward today.
We did one game. Whenever E comes
Watch.
back in town.
Yeah, so it probably won't be for a while because the Avs are going on the road, and then obviously the NHL has a break, which I'll probably do a watch along for the finals of the Four Nations at least, but I don't think we'll do any for the group play. So Poland, what's up?
Oh.
Oh boy, we've got Skycam and the game hasn't even started yet. All right, we're playing hockey. I mean, you can't realistically expect the Avs to have a first period like they did against the Blues, but just do the good hard work and do the job, and you'll be just fine. Austria, let's go. I mean, I guess I should expect more Euros for a matinee game. It's like what 9 p.m. for you guys, almost a normal sports scene time. All right. The Blues game started with 2 shots on goal against, and then the Avs destroyed. So just give up one more easy shot and then go win. Tough entry for Lucky there. Germany, we got all sorts of Euros popping out here. There you go. When the Avs are getting those easy zone exits, it feels a lot better. When they're struggling to get out of their own zone, that's when they run into trouble a lot of the time. Yeah, I usually know because it's like 8 hours from our time zone, but except for like in those random couple of weeks where our daylight savings times are different and then things get really weird. Is that not icing? Okay. I mean, I'll take it. This third line has been interesting. You would like to see Colton probably finish a little bit better on this line. It's been Drury scoring the goals for it, but at times they've been super dominant on the forecheck and with possession, so it's hard to complain too much about it. How about a good game for him? He needs it. Give me a good Sam Alinsky game. Alrighty. That is some trap stuff in the neutral zone that looks really boring if they do that all game. Okay, I don't hate a reset there. It's a little passive, but better than a turnover. I think he means 10 our time, Tiff. Oh, I guess he said Denver time. Never mind. Time's like maybe 3-4 seconds behind, but it's as close as you're reasonably gonna get.
What my time's at?
Blackwood looks pretty comfortable. Oof, there's a bad exit. Just saying, don't do that.
The day Rudo can self-produce is the day you guys will have a perfect time clock.
I used to self-produce, but we didn't have anything fancy like a time clock back then.
Exactly. 10 a.m.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, some days it just ends up being way behind. I don't know. It's crazy how much variance there can be in the timeliness of the broadcast.
He's making you wake up early, Rudo.
That's fine. Based on the matinees the last 2 weekends, my schedule is just an actual mess. So, what are you going to do? Ooh, that didn't get out of the zone. Okay. All right. Have not loved these past 2 shifts. Avs are not pushing back really yet. Flyers definitely won the first 5 minutes. Not that it was significant or all that dangerous, but need to get the Avs into the game here a little bit. I don't think the refs particularly hate the Avs. I think refs in general are just kind of bad at their job, and watching it through the lens of your team, of course, you're going to see, oh boy, nice save. You're going to only see the call. Well, you're not only going to see them, but you're going to see a lot more calls go against you. But I don't think it's been particularly egregious against the Avs. I just think there has been a general very bad reffing this year. Yeah, Canada does not have the same FCC regulations that the US does. The US requires a delay on the broadcast so people can like bleep out swear words and stuff. Well, Nate just got a good chance there. Couldn't get it to go. All right, the Avs are on the board at least. Hopefully they weathered the first 5, and now they turn up the wick. Quick puck movement. Flyers scramble in a little bit here, but can you create something out of it? Not really. Was it post? Okay, yeah. Can never tell because I watch muted. So technically still no shots. Fun. I don't think this has been quite as bad as the shot total is telling you. Like the Flyers really only had one dangerous chance, but still, the Avs need to start going north instead of giving up a bunch of shots. I don't know. I don't know if Micah listened to Electric Callboy or not. Yeah, I think we knew good entry from Kale, but the shot doesn't really do anything effective. Like a lot of the stuff about Nate just shouldn't surprise you. The thing that has surprised me about him is his willingness to shoot. He is shooting the puck a ton for the Avs so far. Ooh, that was almost a crazy collision. Post does not count as a shot on goal because a shot on goal is defined as any shot that would go in the net if not stopped by the goalie. So if it hits the post and doesn't go in, then technically you can't score on that shot. So it's not a shot on goal. And the Avs still don't have one of those. So that'd be cool if they got one 9 minutes into the game. Yeah, it was outside of post for sure. Not that close. Yeah, Dre looked fine to me. I wouldn't overthink that one. If the shot goes off the post and directly in, like bar and in, then it counts as a shot on goal. But if it like goes off the post and then ricochets off the goalie or something, yeah, it's not a shot on goal. I mean, Nate just is a great fit with the Evs. I don't think you can argue that. He's an awesome fit. Who's a better fit? It's hard to say because Mikko's fit in here for so long. Um, I do think at a certain point it gets a little weird because both Natchez and McKinnon are zone entry guys, so you probably need to split them up as far as lines are concerned. But yeah, like stylistically, Natchez is the perfect Av. Um, in reality, I see no world where Miko signs with Colorado again in this offseason. Even if it's not like an emotional thing, he's going to have significantly bigger offers in the offseason than what Colorado can offer him. So if that deal was going to get done, it would have got done. I'll put it to you that way. Never say never. Like maybe Miko gets the end of the season and decided he really liked it in Colorado, but I just don't see that happening. Another shot that does not get to the net. I like attempt wise, I don't even think the disparity in shots is that different. The Avs just can't get an actual shot on goal. Ain't no way Pedersen is fighting anybody. Yeah, I don't think Zegras is what the Avs need. I mean, I just don't think the regular season matters to Mikko Rantanen. Like that's the real story there. He's a insanely talented enough player that he can coast through the regular season and still be really good. And then in the playoffs, he's one of the best players in the world, and that's where it matters the most. So it's hard to really like even if Nate just outproduces in the regular season, how much does that actually matter? But we'll see. We'll see if Mikko can actually be the guy in Carolina. I don't think so. The Avs might be on the slightly high side of block shots against, but they're not particularly like top of the league or anything. Their shooting defensemen are far too good to get that many blocked shots, as opposed to like a team like Carolina that has someone like Brent Burns back there who's just unloading shots a billion times a game that half the time, more than half the time, even don't get through. I mean, that's Carolina went out and got him because they think he can be the guy, right? Like they think he can score on his own. So we'll see. Oof. Not good puck management from Gerard there. Back in quick. I like the little play. Mac power. Not quite. Not quite. Couldn't protect the puck. Okay. Time to get a shot on goal, boys. we're going on 12 minutes now. Even if your attempts are equal, you have given exactly 0 chances to score a goal in this game. I mean, given the announcement the NHL just made about projected salary cap over the next 4 years, you probably could have afforded Miko, but it is what it is. The Avs made their decision. You can't get nothing for him, and it sounded like they absolutely were not budging on the dollar value. So they made the decision they felt was best for the team. Ugh, have not really seen much out of Miles Wood since he came back. I think he'd like a little bit more there. And I know there's an adjustment period of getting back into games and stuff, but
We haven't really seen Ross come back from that adjustment period either.
he at least scored a few goals there. But yeah, obviously nowhere near what he was before the injury. Here you go. Little speed. Good job to stay on side. Does that count as a shot on goal? Okay, altitude's giving it to him. No thanks. Look, we all love the idea of Eric Johnson here, but the version of Eric Johnson that exists now would this fan base would melt down every time he steps on the ice. Like he might be less effective than Keaton Middleton at this point in his career. I mean, the shot may count, like especially this year. Don't take the shot counter on the broadcast as the gospel. They regularly update and change them at intermissions. So, all right, well, that's definitely a shot on goal. Yeah, I would expect this to probably be EJ's last game. You never know. And like EJ wouldn't totally surprise me if he signs a 1 day contract to like retire as an Av or whatever. They're not going to retire his number or anything, but he would definitely be the type of guy to do something like that. I mean, I don't know what anything costs anymore, all right? Based on what Chicago got for retaining Rantanen, it was basically nothing. So maybe you can get out of Miles Wood's contract for free. I don't know, to be honest. I haven't really followed Columbus's season all that much this year. All right, passing into nobody over shooting is definitely a choice that the Avs are making. That was offside, yeah. I mean, I would take Jack Johnson over Keaton Middleton, but like I said, I haven't watched him. If he's fallen off the cliff this year, there's a world where Middleton is as good, and neither of them are particularly interesting to me. This period has kind of sucked. The Avs can't hit the net to save their lives, and the Flyers just haven't been all that dangerous. They've had two real standout good chances, and Blackwood was solid on both of them. I mean, I think the Avs will have interest in pretty much any center available. It's just how good is the market, what's out there, and what is the cost. I mean, you're not going to be happy with this period, but if you don't lose the period and you figure it out, you're okay. I'm not going to be too upset about one period with poor shooting acumen if they get it together in the rest of the game. But if they come out in the second and play another period like this, then you start to be a little bit more unhappy with it. I don't know that they need a D more than forwards. Like I do think they need a D, but I think you really need a middle six center still. Like I know everyone loves Jack Drury and the couple of goals he scored to start here, but I don't really think he can hack it as a 3C for the rest of the year. I mean, as long as it's not a serious injury to Wedgwood, whatever. You're about to go get the Four Nations break anyway. So, as your backup, he misses maybe one game with the back to back later this week, but that's it. So, not that big a deal unless it's something more concerning than that, which would be crazy for that to happen just randomly on an off day. Ooh, was Ross offside there? He might have been. Good pass from Marty. Taves put a shot on. I mean, that's a better play than most of what we've seen in the offensive zone this period. Maybe it'll start something here. Back up top. He tried to go to the middle there. Maybe a little too fancy, but he kept possession. And then Taves just missed a puck. Man, ugh, matinee. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Someday this team will be healthy, but as of the last couple of years, it has not been the case. Well, he got it out of the zone at least. Yeah, I thought he was off there. Good, fine. I can't imagine the ice is great. I know the Nuggets have been on the road, so the ice should have been set up, but I don't know. Usually, all the settings are set up for an evening game, right? But
There might have been concerts in town too.
yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. I mean, the Avs were reasonably healthy in their cup year. Like, obviously, they were super injured in the playoffs, but everyone's super injured in the playoffs. So, was it Mammoth last night? Okay, that makes sense. So, yeah, the ice then has been set up for like 12 hours, basically. It's going to be junky.
It's probably colder in this studio than it is in that building.
It might be. I mean, nothing against people making a business out of their lives, but learning that an injury attorney might be a little bit slimy shouldn't surprise anyone. Ooh, that's such a good poke check from Taze in the neutral zone there. Come on, Marty. Dang. Okay, well, the Avs have at least shown a little bit of life offensively in the last couple of minutes here, so there is hope for the second period. It's a good job by the Avs. Obviously, a good back check by Makar, but then they kept their structure really well. It's been a thing they've struggled with over the last month or so on kind of those rush plays. Their recovery defensive structure often falls apart, especially net front. And Makar was very methodical, checked all of his teammates and all of the angles to go cover the top of the crease, and then they stayed solid. I mean, McTavish would be awesome in any system. That's the type of guy who just works his butt off and grinds. Like, not hard to find a spot for a guy like that in any lineup in any system. Ooh, yeah, happy birthday to 2/3 of the Avs broadcasting team. No penalty goals in this period. Not that it was particularly that dirty. Just can't remember the last first period where there were no calls. Yeah, I mean, why would they ever move on from McTavish, right? He's supposed to be part of the future there. I mean, Mac's been fine. He's quietly doing what he needs to do. He's obviously not having those superhuman games, which is part of the reason why the Avs can't seem to win 2 games in a row. So fair enough. You'd love to see him go full supernova mode, but the Avs survived that first period. If you make that the worst period of the game for your team, you'll probably win. But hopefully those last couple of minutes are a sign of a good thing to come in the second period. I'm going to take my intermission break here, and we'll be back in a bit.
So I go and then I hear equipment guy, Peter Miller, screaming, was not very happy. And I'm like, what is going on? And I look around and he's holding the jersey like this. And he's like, who's the moron that signed this jersey? And then I raise my hand. I look at Peter. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, who's this for? And he's like, it's not for anybody. This is for Yannick Perreault. Welcome to Story with Biggie. Here's my first story of the year. We're going to have some stories like this about some funny moments throughout my career. I don't know why I'm thinking about this particular one today, but I'll tell you one thing. It's my rookie year in LA. We are playing at the old Winnipeg Arena that had the big Queen Elizabeth painting. That was awesome. I love that building. It was so fun to play in there with the passionate fans of Winnipeg. And I'm a rink rat, and I used to always get there so early. Believe it or not, in LA, I actually had the locker room key. Back then was an old lock, and you had to have the key to get in there on the visiting rooms of every building in the NHL. And then we're in Winnipeg on a cold January night, whatever it was. I'm in there, and I walk in there. There's always like things that you see that you know are normal to do. Example, like signings. If it's a practice day, usually there's always stuff to get signed for little brothers or cousins or neighbors, and guys bring it in the room, and it's usually laid out like this, like it's a jersey or whatever it is, or a hat, and there's always a marker next to it. And anyway, so I'm there and I'm grabbing my coffee and I'm, whatever, starting to get ready and get organized, and guys are starting to trickle in, and I see this, the beautiful LA Kings jersey, right there laying on the table, right in the middle of the room, next to the gum and the tape, and then all the extra stuff that, don't forget the bullets, Anyway, so I see this jersey, and I'm a nice guy, so I go there and I grab the marker and I see this jersey, and I think it's weird because it's a game day. Usually on game days you don't have things like that, but I don't think about it. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'll just sign it. So I signed the front of the jersey with a metallic Sharpie on a nice black LA Kings. Back then, black was road jerseys. So I write my name, and then guys are starting to come in, and next thing you know, there's about, 12, 13, 14 signatures on the jersey, and I go about my other part of my routine before the game, because remember, we're not superstitious. It's just part of the routine. Anyway, so I go, and then I hear this equipment guy, Peter Miller, screaming, was not very happy. And I'm like, what is going on? And I look around, and he's holding the jersey like this, and he's like, who's the moron that signed this jersey? And then I raise my hand. I look at Peter. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, who's this for? And he's like, it's not for anybody. This is for Yannick Perreault. He was a call-up that day, and they had gotten that jersey done right there in Winnipeg for him to wear that night. It's his jersey for tonight. So, God, I felt so bad. It's like 6 o'clock at night. The game is warm-ups in like 20 minutes. He's got about 15 signatures everywhere on his jersey on metallic pen. Oh my God! I tell you one thing, I wanted to die. And everybody said, "Who's the one? Who's the first one?" And I couldn't hide. I'm always the first one in the dressing room, so they all knew it was me. So I'm like, "It is me." All you saw was a jersey with black spray paint all over, like the 13, 14 signatures. And I tell you, it was so funny. Everybody was dying, and you could see at face-offs, guys from Winnipeg are looking at they're looking at it like, where'd they find that jersey? You know what I mean? It was the funniest thing. Peter Miller, I apologize. Saw him at the rookie face-off the other day. We were still talking about that crazy pregame in Winnipeg, where it was my fault that we signed actually a game jersey for that night of Yannick Perreault. That was a call-up that night. That was a story with Big E.
back.
All right. First of all, intermission popcorn. Can't go wrong. Gotta have
Yes.
afternoon snacks. That's the way to go. All right. The way to go. Secondly, and I know it's not necessarily what people want to hear, and yes, the Avs need to do a better job of actually hitting the net with their shots, but shot attempts were dead even in that period. Very low event, just 16 to 16 in the shot attempts, but it was a closer period than perhaps the shots on goal would have you believe. High danger chances were 2 to 3, so Philly did get one more high danger chance, but scoring chances of any type were 6 to 4 in the Avs' favor. So I do think the actual shots on goal were a little deceiving. With that being said, the Avs do need to hit the net if they want to score goals. On the individual level, let's see. Yeah, the only line that's really struggling is the fourth line for the Avs. Everyone else is doing okay. The third line was a little bit underwhelming, but not like a problem or anything. No one standing out too much. The guys you would expect at the top of the possession metrics. I mean, I'm curious what the Flyers do at the deadline, especially now that they've moved Frost and Farabee, because Frost seemed like the obvious one. Like he clearly didn't fit in Tortorella's system. They really have not seemed to give him the opportunity he maybe deserves there. So they moved on from him. But like realistically, I don't think they can convince themselves that they're in the playoff picture. I know like technically almost everyone in the East except for like Buffalo is in the picture, but Philly is what 6 points out of a wild card spot, and they have played more games than anyone else. Basically, that's a pretty tall task for them to consider themselves in the playoff race. Do think the Avs' speed has been there. They just gotta find ways to shoot more effectively. It's just normal butter, Orville Redenbacher, no fancy popcorn here. But I'm like a popcorn purist for sure. None of this kettle corn or anything. I'm not about it.
I love it all. Give me all the popcorn.
I mean, there are. I guess I'm not a purist. There are some good flavors of popcorn. I don't like sweet popcorn. All right, puck down for the second period. We're playing hockey again. Hopefully, the Avs can play better. Like I said, like underlyings on that period not that bad. If the Avs make that their worst period of the game, they should win. And Blackwood continues to look good tonight. I mean, the popcorn's good, but The butter, maybe not as good. Still a little sloppy in the offensive zone to start this period, but you can work through that. Not if you do that with the puck, but it's fine. Taves bailed you out. Okay. Avs make 2 consecutive passes challenge. Icing the puck doesn't count as a pass. The one thing about popcorn I don't like is like it gets stuck in my teeth so badly. Oh boy. Scary here. It's been a bad shifts, and then they should have been out of their zone on the icing, but a bad puck management. Thankfully, the Flyers are bad, so it's fine. But have not liked the Avs puck management in the second so far. Why are we checking in on Nichushkin? They've already said he's not going to play before the Four Nations break, so what are we doing?
Getting people's hopes up.
It's interesting. Not that the Avs have been terrible in their own zone. A little bit of sloppy puck management. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. It's fine. It's fine. A lot of sloppy puck management in their own zone, but they've been really good on pucks in the neutral zone. They're really aggressive. They're making Philly's life hard to get into the zone. It's just once they get in, the Avs are struggling. I mean, perfect world, you drop Nuke onto the top line and drop Natchez down to the second line. Maybe if you're trying to ease Nuke back in, you start him on the third line instead of one of Lehkonen, or I don't know, drop whichever winger you want, I guess. Blackwood's doing his job tonight, boys. You got to help him out a little bit here. Good seal off from Middleton. Didn't give Coots the middle of the ice. I did see the Hartman incident. Pretty fucking blatant, man. That, if you've ever wanted to look up textbook intent to injure, that has to be it. Dude basically drops the people's elbow on the back of his head. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's not about Lecky. Like, I mean, I guess it is about Lecky, but not like obviously Lecky has played great. He's shot the roof off the building, but when you look at the guys in the Avs top six, the two that play a style of game that will work on the third line is probably Lehkonen or Nichushkin. The rest of the guys, like Druin, is a top six skill player. Obviously, you're not moving McKinnon or Natchez out of the top six. So, all right, find something, second line. All right, keep it alive. It's a good shift. Ultimate shot you get from Josh isn't all that dangerous there, but you almost got a rebound. Yeah. I mean, I saw there's all the other stuff too, but that regardless of the other stuff, what he did to Stützle was just blatant. It's matinee games, man. They're just weird. Kale's got to hit the net there. The far side miss, self-clear, does not feel good in the state of this game. I mean, you could move Parsonen out. Like, I don't think that's the worst decision, but oh boy, are you really going to mess with that right now? It feels like you finally found something in your second line, and Parsonen has been part of that. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's fair to ask more out of Wood, for sure. I mean, you could have called it. You definitely could have. I think the Avs depth at wing when you get Val back is just ridiculously deep. Like your top nine, I guess it's your top six. Your top three lines of wingers are any combination of Necas, Nichushkin, Lehkonen, Druin, Parsonen, and Colton. No, the refs have definitely seemed pretty comfortable to put the whistles away tonight. Today, I should say. Oh, good ass chance for Natchez there. Starting to be a shift here and a shift there for the Avs, and this game is starting to feel like it's Philly that hasn't taken advantage of their opportunities. Might be time for things to swing in the Avs' favor here. little bit of a split shift here, and they got a half change. Mac is out there with the second liners. Maybe 1-2 past many for Person in there, but he kind of bobbled it, so. Yeah. And look, the refs have clearly just put the whistles away, which in some, oh, Josh, this could be bad. Or Philly will just miss the net entirely. Also fine. This is punish them here. Come on. Yes! Sammy! Come on, baby. Told you it felt like things were going to turn on Philly. What up, Willie? Just felt like one too many chance got away from Philly there. Same thing. Eric's pet peeve. You miss the net far side, it goes back the other way. Great job by Gerard to jump up in the play and a good finish. Oh, word. Manson gave them a clean 2-on-1 on purpose. All calculated for sure, for sure. All right. Big goal. Big goal for the Avs. Hopefully they can get some momentum, keep up some momentum, whatever you want to call it. Another point for Jonathan Drouin, man. He can't miss. Ooh, another turnover. LOC, not quite finding the net. You know, when Gerard's walking in like that, his wrister is decent. He's not a good shooter. Like, no one's going to tell you he's a good shooter, but his best shot comes from that exact situation. Oh, man. Nate just actually got that pass through. Mac just it handcuffed him just a little bit. He couldn't handle it clean. Yeah, not a complicated play for Middlestat there, but a good one. I don't think the Granlund trade does much for them, if I'm honest. Like, Dallas finally got some bad injury luck, and you're replacing Miro Heiskanen with Cody Ceci. Yikes. Who was it? Dom or Dimitri that tweeted out their right side of their defense in 2025? Yeah, given what we know where the cap is at, assuming Drouin is reasonably healthy for the rest of the year and plays well in the playoffs, you're probably looking at around 6, I would guess, for Drouin. Yeah, I'm pretty. He's gonna just had surgery, so I think he's done for this season. Maybe he comes back like late playoffs if Dallas go deep or something. But no, Philly's new guys are still doing visa stuff. They're not in. I mean, Lecky is on a ridiculously good deal. Unfortunately, that's what happens when you sign a deal in the middle of the cap freeze, but that's not the world that the NHL is in anymore. So, ooh, that's a decent little backhand from Taves for a defenseman there. Yeah, just put it a little too. Was going for the armpit, but a little too high and wide. I mean, Middlestat has been a lot better over the last 4 or 5 games, and that's what I'm saying. You're getting good play out of Middlestat with Parsonen on his wing. Like, do you really want to mess with that right now? And it doesn't matter because Val won't be back until after the break anyway. So it's not even a real conversation, maybe. But I mean, if you are looking at Druin's tenure in Colorado alone, obviously this year he's a point per game player when he's been healthy. But last year he was 56 points in like 76 ish games. So if you're doing the math of about 100K per point, you're coming in right around 6 million for his Colorado tenure. Look, in matinee games, you just smile and nod when it comes to the refs and linemen because there's no logic to it. Yeah, Parsonen has been right. That's what I'm saying. You found something with Middlestat and Parsonen, and to be fair, also the connection of Lehkonen or Druin. Both have played with them and been good. Good job from Gerard there. The Avs are just defensively, when the Avs aren't making unforced errors, they're a hard team to crack, man. When they're playing to their ability defensively, they're a hard team to crack. They just have the penchant for the big mistake. Ooh, that's a good break. Broken stick. Find him in the middle. Oh, you had Malinsky cutting down there. Okay, Sam. That was a cute little play. Good to see you with a little confidence. Lehkonen is not a point per game player. He's having a great year, but The dude's not going to continue shooting 24%. I actually talked about this on the Philly pregame show. He's great for the Avs. He's key. He's come up huge for them. The goal scoring ability is not as good as it has been this year. He's a really good player, but he's not that guy. He's going to go on a goal scoring cold streak. He'll probably still get points. He'll pick up assists. He'll do all the good hard work, but he's not going to continue scoring at this rate. I think Lehkonen in reality is probably closer to a 50-point guy than a 60-point guy. But it's hard to say, right? Because he just hasn't been healthy the last 2 years. Yep. Nate just is a turbo play driver. Yeah, I mean, it's just hard. Like, yes, based on games played, Lecky is on a 60-point pace this year, but he missed time, so he won't get there. And also, with those smaller sample sizes, when you're playing well, when you're hot, it looks like you're scoring at a higher rate than you'll probably end up at the end of the season because, like I said, he's just not going to shoot 24% for the rest of the year. It's going to come down. Avs haven't been crazy dangerous, but since the goal, they've kind of taken over possession of the game. Philly really has not had much offensive zone time since the Avs goal. Another icing. Come on now. The refs clearly want this game to go fast, so get it together, Philly. 3 banger trades in the NHL, and they're not even the biggest trade in the last 10 days. There you go. Blackwood still engaged, still making a good save there. Taves with the footwork to tie it up along the boards, but Mavs don't win it. All right, that's fine. It's a fine defensive shift, and Mac gets on his horse and loses the puck. There was, I'd say, the first 5 minutes of the second period, the Avs' sloppy puck management was giving Philly some quality possession. But you're right. In the first period, it was a lot of low-quality stuff. Ooh, could have called the trip there too. All right. Look, you have the lead, and you know the refs aren't calling anything, so start taking some liberties. Two. If you ice it twice in a row, should be the same thing as a delayed game. Certainly a whole lot nicer than it was. Living the easy life with real goaltending, for sure. I mean, I think, like, from a purely viewer standpoint, Natchez is fun. Like, Mikko often was frustrating, and that isn't to say he's not a great player and all of that, but when Natchez plays hockey, it's fun to watch. Like I'm enjoying Marty Natchez play hockey for the Avalanche. And that, like, I know the only thing that matters is score or whatever, but from a viewership standpoint, it does matter a little bit, right? You're supposed to enjoy this. Why are we doing this if we're not enjoying it? And I enjoy watching Natchez play. I got it, right? I know you guys are delayed. I'm pretty sure I got the popcorn. All right. Another goal too much to ask in this period? Probably. Just finish strong here. Are the Avs just on like the season ending tour right now? They probably just, not statistically, of course, but mechanically, you look at the standings, they probably eliminated the Blues from the playoffs the other night. If Philly lose this game, get 0 points, it's hard to see them having a way back into the playoff picture in the East. Avs just the crushers of dreams. Another extended possession here. Don't love that pass. It's a little too cute for a 1-0 game, and that's a dog shit call. Such a dog shit call. It goes the Avs' way, but sorry. I try to be not biased. I know I'm biased for the Avs sometimes, but with what they haven't called in this game, how the fuck can you call that? Like, that's a joke. Like, does he hook him a little? Yeah, but everyone in the game has been doing that all game. Like, what are we doing? I 100% agree with John Tortorella's face right there. All right. Avs power play was good the other night. Honestly, scoring here would be pretty big. A 2-goal lead going into the third would be huge. I'm not gonna like. I hope the Avs take advantage of it, but it just drives me crazy when the refs set a precedent again. We're 35 minutes into this game, and now you randomly decide to start calling stuff. You just ruined the precedent that you set. How are the players supposed to know what they can and can't do with calls like that? So far, not good, PP. Good easy setup, though. Should get at least one quality chance here. There you go. Move your feet, Mac. You'll create something if you move your feet. Yeah! Move your feet, shoot the puck, Nathan. It's such easy. It's so easy. The power play is so easy. It takes two things to be successful. And the Avs actually are doing it. Got him to drop the glove. All right. Is the PP officially out of the slump? Power play goals 2 games in a row. They're 3 for their last 5. It might be happening. Huge goal. Huge goal. Game feels so much different being up 2 instead of being up 1, especially if they can play well for these last 2 minutes. You get out of this period up 2 and you're sitting pretty. Well, we're having a little powwow here about a face-off that we're just going to lose. Oh, he actually won it. Let's go. Get another one. Why not? Turn this into the fun barn. Yeah, I mean, it's the other night when Druin scored on the power play was the first power play goal from an Avs forward in a month. Like, it had been ridiculous. Nice. Good steady control there. Yeah, it was McKinnon has a billion power play points, but he just stopped shooting on the power play this year. That's why he hadn't scored a power play goal himself in what, 3 months? 2 months? 3 months. Yeah, 3. I mean, I think what's encouraging about this game is the Avs did start a little bit slow. right? But instead of just getting stuck in that malaise like they have in the last handful of lost games, they came out of it. First they weathered the storm. Second, they came out of it, and now they've taken over the second period. They've dominated this team. Ooh, that was closer than I had any right to. I I don't want to like put this on the Avs because I don't know how true it actually is, but it certainly feels like at times this year the Avs have been comfortably overconfident. Like especially over the last 2 years, they've been so good at coming back in games. Okay, you gotta call that, right? Yeah. But it felt like they almost got too comfortable just falling behind in games, or it feels like they just could get away with it. So they started trying to get away with it. And that's always going to be a recipe for disaster, right? You're never going to get away with it forever. In the long run, it's going to come back to bite you. And it did. And look, this trade where the Avs are in the season, you look at this game and last game, it feels like, hey, they might have finally gotten the message that it's time to wake up and sort things out and play the way you're supposed to a little bit. But is that true, or is this just another good stretch of hockey, right? Because we've had this conversation before this year, and they had like you're not going to win every game, but the stretches of down have just been a little bit longer than you would like. Ugh. All right, you end up with a weird split PP here, which is whatever, but it's a really good period, man. The Avs finished the first period with what, 6 actual shots on goal, and they have 23, so that's 17 shots on goal in this period. Yeah, they showed up. They figured it out. Especially, really, the first couple minutes, first 5 minutes of this period, they were battling it a little bit, but then they woke up and went to town. Great stuff. Love to see that from the Avs. You're set up really, really well. Mac is complaining about something. But anyway, it's intermission. I'm going to take my break. I'll be back in about 10 minutes, hopefully with no popcorn in my beard. Hello. We're back. That period was as dominant as I felt that it was. Again, it started marginally slow, but basically from the 5 minute on, the Avs just completely took over that game. And now they get to start the third period on a power play. So, good times. At 5-on-5, top line continues to be ridiculous, but the second line also dominating possession in this game. So the Avs top six fully getting the job done in this one. No defenseman under 54% Corsi 4, so your D-core is doing its job. And even your lower lines, it's just more low event than it is bad. Nothing too crazy. And a pretty good minute spread at 5-on-5. Parker Kelly is your lowest man at 642 with a full period left to play. Things are good right now in Avs land. Marty's not a center. I think we have to accept this fact. He's not actually going to be a center for this team. I mean, you score here, the game's pretty much just over, right? Good read by Erson there. Don't mind Marty shooting that, though. All right, look, I'm not on team Ty has to reach your belt, although I'm not really on team Ty at all. I hate ties. But look, if it reaches the belly button, you're good. All right, now give it to Nathan and move your feet. Good. Stepped in and shot. That's fine. It's not a ton of movement, but it's enough. Now slide up. Let Marty slide in. Yep. Oh, it's just so much better to watch a power play that does stuff. All right, one pass too many from Drew in there, but still, it's a good put together play. Ooh, Marty might have had a little more time than he thought on that one. I mean, obviously, didn't score on it, but it's just so much more watchable when the Avs are doing things on their power play that don't include passing it back and forth, standing still. Yeah, the Avs do head back out on the road. Yeah, they'll fly out tomorrow afternoon. For a quick little California trip, or Canada trip, I should say. Ooh, Jack Drury is good defensively, man. But, well, important in 5-on-5 to keep it simple here. Like, obviously, you don't want to give up on playing offense, but don't have to take any crazy zone entry risks or anything. Keep working hard, keep chasing down pucks, but also get pucks deep. Okay, good block. Not a great defensive shift, but you sold out to make up for it. You're fine. Okay, thank you, Blackwood. Just keep being really good at hockey, and the Avs will just win. No problem. Easy, easy. They had the Skycam in the first portion of the game, but you're right. They didn't really use it on that power play. I don't know. I mean, I think most opposing broadcasts are fine to good. There are some that aren't. Like, I hate Dallas's broadcast. But most of them around the league, I think, are solid. Yeah, I expect Philly to get at least one power play in this period here. Is that it? They gonna call that? Nope. Yeah, I don't like the Wild broadcast too much either. But like, there are some like Florida's broadcast. Goldie's amazing. The Blues broadcast, pretty good when they're not being weird homery stuff. But every broadcast has weird homery stuff, so you kind of just have to accept that. What is the Bruin though? Because Jack Edwards was my least favorite ever, but he's done now, right? Like, what? Hasn't been ideal. Like, obviously, you gave up two high danger chances there, but Blackwood stopped them, and now you're kind of sitting pretty good in this period. First period, pretty boring. Second period, mostly great. Third period so far, not perfect, but it's been low event. Just a few events they gave up have been a little more dangerous than you would have liked. I don't I do disagree. I disagree. Like, I don't think Mosier's bad, but I think Mosier is stuck in radio mode because on the radio, Mosier is amazing, but when you're broadcasting a television thing, you don't have to give every detail. And at times, I think he struggles to let moments breathe because he's motor mouth because you have to on the radio, right? Like you can't see the game, you can't experience it that way. And he just never quite figured that out on TV, I don't think. Again, I don't think he's bad, but I don't think he's the best in the league by any stretch. Yeah, I, this period feels fine. The Avs are doing the work they need to do. Again, maybe it's a different story if Blackwood doesn't make that big save, but he did. So having a goalie is nice. I mean, the Avs didn't even make the worst trade this week. It's been more than a week, I guess, but that Doncic trade is maybe the worst trade in NBA history. And like, I think it's fair to be negative about the Miko trade if you want to be. Like, my initial reaction was certainly negative. Natchez' play has dampened that for me for sure. It's been really good. I still think Natchez and Drury combined is probably giving you less than Miko. Like, I don't think you can just run away with this and say the Avs won the trade, but also the Avs aren't done. What do they do with that second round pick that they got? What other pieces do they end up getting? What happens with Natchez? Do they extend him? If they get Natchez for 5-6 more years at a good number, like that affects the trade too. It's just to say for certain how this trade ends up at this point is you can't. Not really. Yeah, I mean the Canucks were backed into a corner, right? Everybody knew they were shopping Miller, so it's kind of a different situation. Yeah, I don't get the Canadian broadcasts here, so I couldn't tell you on those ones. Ugh. Another good stop. That was an easy one. Good defense, though. And then good hard work from Druin to get you a change here. And you're in the last 10. Safe pucks out, becoming pretty acceptable now. Solid defensive shifts, make short work of it. You win the game. Or Nathan McKinnon go score and it's just over? Nah, not quite. Not quite. I mean, I think that the thing about Miko being a pending UFA it's just kind of false. And like, I get this is part of the Avs thinking was this, but the people kind of make the mistake of saying the Avs couldn't have signed Mikko at the price he wanted, and that's not really true. The Avs could have signed him. It would have been a huge commitment, and the Avs felt like it was too much of a commitment to be able to build a winning team around him at that number. But they could have signed him. It's not like their hand was forced here. They just felt like in the long run it was a better decision to do it this way. Nah, you need better there, Kale. You lose it in your skates and then a bad clear. Gets it on the second try, though. He's going to get 14 in free agency. I'll tell you that. With the cap going up the way it is, he's going to get it. Good neutral zone play from your fourth liners here. Easy shift for your defense. Feels good all the way around. That's fine. Reset. Yeah, you're happy to eat clock right now. People aren't overrating Mikko. I think a lot of people in Colorado underrate Mikko because of how frustrating his play looks every night. The dude is a top 10 in the NHL in scoring this year. I mean, it'll be like, I will say this. I don't know what Carolina's plans are. I don't know if they intend to get a Mikko deal done. I do think I'd be a bit concerned if I was a Canes fan that there's not a deal done there already. And if you're trading for Mikko as a pure rental, you better win. Like, if Mikko walks this offseason and the Carolina Hurricanes are not Stanley Cup champions, that trade looks real bad, real fast for them. Yep, it's been a solid one. Not perfect by any stretch, but the Avs have put together a good enough game to win, and Philadelphia just cannot score goals. So you take it. Yeah, I do think Carolina has a goaltending problem. 10 G's on the Avs. That's a big boy bet. I mean, McKinnon definitely helps Mikko, but let's not pretend like Mikko isn't a great player by himself. We saw it last 2 years ago when McKinnon got hurt. Mikko had to carry this team, and he did. Like, he's capable of it. He has to put in the work, though. He's had the cushy job in Colorado where he can float around in games and still pick up his points because he's playing with other great players. In Carolina, he's going to have to nut up and go to work every night. I mean, we'll see. The off season will play itself out when we get there. And that contract is, if he wants 14, it's not the Avs' problem. I'll put it to you that way. The Avs, I'm sure, would have the offer they've already offered him on the table if he hits free agency. But if he didn't want it then, I don't think he's going to want it now. No icing there. Good. Good little flip. Hey, there you go. You finally got the silly penalty call that you knew they were going to call to even things up. Pretty silly from Wood, to be honest. You got to know the game situation. Why give him a reason? What's the chances Philly get at least one goal? I mean, they haven't scored a goal in like 200 minutes of hockey or something outrageous. So I don't know. And if they're just losing pucks at the blue line on their power play, odds might not be great. Easy clear. Is it weird feeling watching the Avs have the better power play in this game? It's been a while since I felt something like that. No, it obviously went off the glass. Don't be stupid, Philly. does. He is a very good PKer. It's true. Nah, and Vegas can't sign Miko. That much I know for sure. All right, yeah. I get it. I'd pull my goalie too the last minute of this power play if I was Torts, so makes sense. Man, this is a really good penalty kill. I mean, they have 20 seconds left, but and some of that is the Flyers are just down bad right now. But hey, the Avs have been down bad against plenty of teams. You still got to execute and take advantage of it. Oof, that was just set a huge pick on my car in front. Got away with that. All right, you technically killed it. Now it's a 6-on-5 though, so hold on to your butts. One clear here, get your PKers off, and you should be fine. Or a freeze. You might need a Blackwood freeze here, to be honest. Hey, look at that. An easy freeze. Locked in, baby. Who are the 3 stars, chat? Who should the 3 stars of the night be? Blackwood, assuming the next 3 minutes go well. Druin had 2 points, so they're both secondaries. Gerard and Mac are your goal scorers. Miko would have had 2 empty net goals by now. Easy. Yeah, I don't have many negatives tonight, really. Like, obviously, there were mistakes defensively, but on the whole, most of your defense played pretty well tonight. Of course, your goalie balling out makes everyone look good. All right, refs, you've been speed running this whole game. Why are you taking the time to adjust people now? Just drop the puck. Let's go. Oh, who gets it? Who gets it? I've seen Kale and Marty in the chat. I saw a goalie goal, but I don't think Blackwood's the type to even try, to be honest. A little awkward there. A little half change for the Avs. Managed it, though. Yeah. Philly has been pretty sloppy with the puck. Maybe they're just not getting the bounces to some extent, too, but where I felt like the Avs were probably the sloppier team in the first portion of the game, Philly has definitely been sloppier in the second. Good discipline by Marty to not respond there. No reason to take a penalty. Well, Marty's going to give it to Kivy. Kivy tries to give it back, and they don't get one because of it. Just shoot it, Kivy. Just shoot it, buddy. Tay's going to get there. Couldn't put it on. Kind of a weird line they threw out there, eh? Yeah, they call that a trip. No, he didn't. That's crazy. The refs really do want to go home. Defenseman gets a stick on this or something, right? Yeah, his foot. Here's your face-off guy. And then they said it was not a fair face-off. All right, just eat it. Get your boys shut out. Or do a terrible flip to the top of the zone, but it's fine. We're good. Gerard, 2-goal night. If he shoots it in time, I don't know if it made it in. I don't know if it made it in, chat. I don't know if that one's going to count. It's going to be close. Altitude's trying to give it to him. It's close, man. Yeah, nope, not going to count. Unfortunate for Sammy G. That is the end of the game, though, so we appreciate y'all hanging out, as always. We got a post-game coming your way in about 15 minutes. Be sure to tune into that, where you get to break down the Avs winning 2 in a row for the first time in a while. We'll talk to you over there.
We all silly like the mayor.